Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Is anybody out there? We are fixing to leave here from Hammond, Louisiana at Petro. I'm just going to record live for a minute and give it a shot. All right, I don't see nobody in there yet, so we're going to go ahead and travel out. I'm not sure what he's doing. Them Snyder owner operators, you know, you got to watch them fellers. That's where I started doing owner operator, was over there at Snyder. I'm just going to be recording live, trying to go back to the house this morning. We just got through getting diesel, and I'm not going to be responding to comments or reading the phone or touching the phone if anybody's got any worries. We got started sitting still. But it'll be completely safe. I'm not reading no comments. I don't even have it set up where the comments will show up. I really don't know how to work this thing with the lives. You know, I'm going to try to do more with it. But as for right now, this is the first shot. They redid this middle strip a while back to make it smooth because it was rough. But as you can see on the left and the right, it's still rough on the left and the right. But at least driving through here is a little bit smoother. This place makes a lot of money down here at the Petro in Hammond, Louisiana. This is one of my buddy Steve Allington's favorite places down here because when you come, you got to go through. There's our Snyder owner operator. Houston Transport Carriers. I don't guess he even runs for Snyder no more. I guess he got his own authority. But yeah, they've been doing a lot of remodeling around here. They're going to, I guess, get the paid for parking where everything's going to be paid for parking. Because you see these new barriers they're putting up on both sides. Looks like they got some cables and stuff coming in there. So, what is it? Cartersville, Georgia, where they have all that done. They're going to really start making some money off of their parking. And they're going to use the automated system in order to make their money. They don't even have to pay the guard to sit there at the little shack for the in and out. But yeah, this place here, coming in and out of Hammond, you got these roundabouts. You know, I can't stand a roundabout, but that's the way they got it going. Over here, they don't want to pay a red light bill, so they got these roundabouts to get you in and out. That Speco over there used to be pretty good. I don't know if it is anymore. I haven't done any business over there in a while. But I have seen trucks turned over on some of these roundabouts. You get to going hot, you got a top heavy load, yeah, you'll dump it over. You got to be careful. And these cars don't always do what they're supposed to in these roundabouts. Where it says yield, a lot of times they don't. They just keep on coming. And as the professional driver, in my opinion, it's your responsibility to let off the pedal when possible. You know, when you're coming up on a merge and somebody waits to the last minute trying to get over, let them in. Don't get road ragey. Don't get booty. Be a nice guy or gal. Because it's your bumper that's going to get bent too, and that's going to take up your whole day. We got to learn to back off the pedal some, you know? I do miss the red light, though. Red light was always a guarantee that you were going to get to go. You don't always get that guarantee here in Hammond now, because these cars be flying around the corner. And off of that interstate, I think I'll be able to go after this white GMC if he'll come on. You were in the other lane. You wasn't supposed to come that way. I'll wave at you, though. She was in the lane to go right. She decided to go left. I'm glad I didn't just bail on out there on her. But yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine about ELDs yesterday. He was like, well, I don't really mind it keeping track of my time and stuff. I said, well, it's not really that for me as far as my driving time and the hours of service. What it is for me is why I would like to see it done away with is these drivers get out here and they get to racing the clock. You see that right there? He was supposed to yield. I saw him coming. He didn't want to. But down, that's dangerous right there, man. I don't want to have my bumper bent up, spend all day talking to the police about why somebody hit me. But that's sure what happened. You got to know when to back her down. But anyway, we were talking about ELDs yesterday, and I said my thing is drivers get out here and they're racing the clock to get stopped. They're going across parking lots at 40 miles an hour. They're running through construction zones way faster than they're supposed to be. They're running in the left lanes because they don't want to get caught in the right lane because of traffic. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, and you got companies out there that's telling drivers, always ride in the middle lane, don't ride in the right lane. The right lane is for slower traffic. If your company is governed below the speed limit in most places, you should not be telling your drivers to ride that middle lane. You should be telling your drivers to obey the laws of the road, and the laws of the road is slower traffic, stay right. You have a hammer lane, and in my opinion, in a 3-lane situation, hammer lane for trucks is the middle lane. That means if you can go the speed limit in a truck, you run the middle lane. Get around the trucks that are governed in the right lane. But I would love to see ELD mandate just repealed simply because it causes drivers to get out here and make bad decisions and race the clock, and it's caused a lot of harm that way. A lot more harm, I believe, than it does with hours of service. Hours of service, I mean, we're supposed to be grown people in these trucks. You trust us to drive these 80,000-pound missiles, and yet you're going to nanny us to the point to where we have to have electronic tracking. Don't believe in it. Don't think it should happen. But that's just one man's opinion, you know. And I'm okay if I have to follow regulations I don't believe in. I can deal with it. Just like these folks with this election, you have so many people that are just melting down because their side lost. In my opinion, that side has told so many lies that they even believe their own lies. I was talking to a gentleman yesterday while I was getting a tire fixed, and he was saying that old Trump's going to get us in a big old war. Just as soon as somebody makes him mad, he's going to jump on them. And he has not seen what Trump, he didn't pay attention to what Trump did in his first term. His first tour, he did not get us into wars. He got us out of conflicts, and he destroyed ISIS. And maybe I'm believing the lies. I don't think so, because the proof is in the pudding. Since Biden's been in office, the whole world's on fire. But hey, I'm just an old trucker trying to make a dollar. One thing I do know, since Biden went in the office, my life has got way harder. And I'm looking forward to a Trump administration that may possibly have more money in my pocket and might make the world a little bit safer. He's got some novel ideas with the tariffs and with the no tax on overtime and no tax on tips, and getting rid of regulations and putting RFK over some of the FDA. I think there could be some good times coming down that road. I'm looking forward to seeing how it pans out. At the very least, I think the Democratic side should just wait and see how things turn out. Wait and see if he's an evil dictator. Wait and see if he's a Nazi. If he is, we'll dispose of him. But he's not. You've been lied to for a long, long time. Stop believing the lies and let's look at what actually happens. Once you see that he's not the evil, destroying dictator that the left has claimed him to be, you'll realize that you've been lied to, and maybe you can start opening your mind and look at the right side and say, well, they're not so bad. I'm personally happy that we have had a landslide, a true mandate going forward of change, real change. I think trucking companies will make a comeback. We've been in a trucking recession for what, 2 years now, where we've been losing companies, big ones too. I lost mine partially because of my decisions, but I think mostly because of the price of the fuel going up and the rates going down. I literally could not keep my truck on the road because I couldn't afford to do the repairs, because everything else, the equation got way out of whack. Now, I've seen a lot of other drivers, they get out there and they talk about how they're losing money a little bit more each month. And it's disheartening. It is, but I think, we've got a chance for things to get better. We really do. And for Trump to be such a chauvinist, he's chose a nice lady to be his chief of staff. Let that sink in. He's such a horrible male social chauvinist, like the left said, but he chose a female to be his White House chief of staff. A true female, not a man trying to be a woman, a true female to be his White House chief of staff. That tells you right there that he's not the male chauvinist that the left chose him to be. How many other things have they lied to the American public about? And, they don't understand, I don't guess. I would like to watch CNN. They have good graphics. They have good information at times. But they're so extreme left. They're always race baiting. They're always talking about the sexual transitions and the left opinions of the left. Just report the news, man. Stop choosing sides. Talk about the facts. I used to like to watch CNN back in the day, and now I just can't even stomach it. It's just awful, the lies that they promote. And now the American public gets to see firsthand the lies that they have promoted are just what they are. And I'm hoping that opens the eyes to the rest of the nation as to what the right and conservatorship is really about. Lower taxes, less government, less regulation, more defense, more money put into infrastructure, more money put into schools. That's another thing. I homeschool my child, and I saw that Trump is planning on giving money for kids to go to the choice schools from their parents' choose, and giving a voucher for homeschooling supplies so we can get that off our tax. Y'all know how much money a homeschool family spends on materials just so their children can have the stuff they need? You got internet courses, you got computers, you got all kinds of books, and you can even go into the field trips and the things that you want to take your children to do and the things that you want your children to learn about. The truth as your family sees it. That's where real education lies, is in the family. You don't take somebody and put them over your education of your child that's got the opinions of somebody from across the country, whether it's Washington, D.C., or Los Angeles, California, or Seattle, Washington. I don't want them teaching my child. I want people that agree with me teaching my child. Now, my child was autistic, so therefore he had to be homeschooled, because in Mississippi we don't have the programs that a lot of the nation does to help autistic children. We have not found any government assistance, anything like that, to help raise our autistic child. And a lot of our family have bowed out. So it's been me and my wife, mostly my wife, because I'm on the road out here trying to make money. And now that the rates dropped and the fuel went up and I lost my business and I'm back in a lease truck, I'm on the road a lot more now than I ever have been before, just to make ends meet. And that's after we lost the business, and that was a blow. I mean, you build something up for years, and you're really expecting things to stay that way. You know, you start making money, but then next thing you know, credit is a business. Next thing you know, you're going to have too much credit to be able to pay when the rates drop and the fuel goes up. And then, okay, you're barely making it. You think you're doing all right. You're barely making it. And next thing you know, you got a major repair. What am I going to do? And then another repair. Next thing you know, you're in the negative and all your cards are maxed out. Credit is a trap. If you do a credit card, which you need a credit card just about to exist today, get a prepaid credit card. Don't use their credit. I've got another friend that is paying more than the minimum on his credit cards, and he cannot get them paid off. They keep adding on and adding on, and I feel for him. But that's why, if I was to get a credit card, it's going to have like a $300 limit, and that's just for in case I need a rental car or something like that in an emergency. Other than that, I'm going to get out of debt, and I'm staying out of debt. I'm not getting back in that trap. It's not worth it. The sleepless nights and the drama that you have to go through, it's just not worth fighting. Because the interest on credit cards especially will just hold you down, and you'll never, ever catch up. And they were really good. Like when I had my business, I had a $20,000 credit card, and when things were going good, I would use it, and then I would pay it off in one payment, you know. I kept it paid down. But as things slowly started getting bad, it started growing and growing, and I couldn't get it paid off. And I was like, I had 2 trucks running, and then when I had to get rid of 1 truck, I'm down to 1 truck income, and that was not enough to catch up with all of the payments that had to be made. It just was like a landslide. It was like this election. It was a landslide of debt that I could not keep up with. So therefore, that truck that I loved, that truck that I put all that money into and time, I had 800,000 miles that I put on that truck when I had to let it go. And now a good man in Tylertown, Mississippi has my old truck. And I'm proud for him, especially if he can get it running like it's supposed to be. I was changing the oil in that truck 30 to 35,000 miles. And the maintenance schedule was 50,000 miles. The oil in my engine was running as clear as a gas engine's oil for 8,000 miles before it would start getting dark. Because I was keeping up with my maintenance. The bottom end of that engine was great, but I had some mechanics work on the top end, do an overhead and different things. Next thing I know, she's blowing smoke and I got a tapping. They need to rebuild the top end. I didn't have that. One company quoted me $25,000. The cheapest I found was $15,000. That's just to rebuild the top end of a DD-15. That was insanity. If I had the old Series 60 Detroit, I could have got the whole engine rebuilt for that. Not to mention, I wouldn't have had all the DEF. That system there, man, that's the worst thing they ever did to our trucks, was when they put in the DEF system. It's horrible. But anyway, we got the presidential, the Senate, and the House wrapped up. If Trump don't do what he's supposed to do this time, it's totally on him. There won't be no excuses. I think we'll see a lot more. Honestly, the tariffs are going to be better than anybody can expect. And I'll tell you why. Do you realize how many businesses have been shuttered? How many empty factories are here in the United States right now? Think about it for a minute. They're not going to have to build new factories to build products in America. We've got tons of warehouse and factory buildings that are not being used. So the tariff system is going to make companies make more products here. They're going to want to jump into an already existing building. They're going to want to update some equipment, yes, sure. And they're going to start making products here way faster than anybody really expects. And that is exciting. That means American trucks and American people are going to be making more money because we're going to be making more made in America products. And that, my friends, is exciting. To have America manufacturing rise up and saving our steel industry, getting the pipeline going again, start selling our oil to foreign countries instead of buying it from foreign countries. We've got plenty. The United States is huge. There's tons of oil to be pumped out. I live in Mississippi. As y'all can see, I'm coming north from Hammond, Louisiana, headed toward Mississippi. Now, down here, a huge part of our economic employment is in the oil industry. Not only on land, but we have a ton in the Gulf of Mexico. When I was coming up in Monticello, Mississippi, a lot of my friends worked offshore. My dad worked offshore until my mom asked him to come home and help with us bad old youngins, you know. So he came home, left a good paying job with the oil field. I think he was working with Diamond Offshore. He was a driller, if I'm not mistaken. But he worked a whole bunch of jobs there. They didn't get paid near about as much as they do now. But when the oil industry goes back to booming, those jobs are going to pay better. There are going to be more of them. That's going to be a boom for my state, Louisiana. It's going to be awesome. If we start producing more, manufacturing more in the United States, that means we're going to need more cardboard. That means we're going to be harvesting more trees, planting more trees. That industry is going to start booming. We're going to start building, and that's going to help with all the construction and the selling of our lumber. It's going to be, I really believe things are going to happen a lot faster than what people are thinking with this whole tariff idea. They could actually decrease our taxes because we're going to be selling oil overseas. We got enough oil to sell for probably a couple hundred years and never run out. And that would make America the strongest country in the world for a very, very, very long time. And that's what the world's really afraid of. I heard a story today where Europe's already chomping at the bit to buy our oil and to stop buying Putin's oil. And when Putin can't sell his oil, guess what? He won't have money to pursue his war. He will have to stop and declare peace because he will be broke. That's what Trump was talking about. That's what he's about. And I can't wait for that war to stop, because I saw some video of Ukraine over there where they've been fighting, and you talk about apocalyptic. Man, there's like, it's worse than what it looked like in World War One and Two. Between the lines, there's nothing living, nothing moving. It is a total dead zone in a lot of areas of that country. I feel bad for them. I mean, we need peace. You're always going to have little conflicts here and there, but we could have peace in our time if we follow what he says. But see, that's the problem with a lot of politicians. I don't think Trump's a politician. I think he's a pretty common man that sincerely wants the best for the United States. Otherwise, why would he even run? Because he's a billionaire. He could be on the beach with margaritas and relaxing. But no, he's up there. He's been shot at. They just arrested some Iranians that were trying to kill him. Everybody that used to be his friend on the left hate him. Why would he go through all that unless he truly wanted the best for the United States? And then I've had some comments on some of my other videos that, Trump's the Antichrist. Wrong. Trump is not the Antichrist. Number one, he's just in America. He's just in the United States. Number two, it says in the Bible, kingdom divided cannot stand. So, the devil does not cast out devils. Trump's been fighting evil for a long time. So therefore, he is not the Antichrist. I believe that with all my heart. The devil would love for you to believe that he is, so he don't get his votes and he don't get to continue fighting evil. If he was the Antichrist, the system would not be fighting him and trying to kill him like they are. He is not Antichrist. He is not evil. He's truly trying to do good. I can remember way back some of the good things he used to get a lot of publicity for. I think he got Nelson Mandela a flight over. Nobody else was helping Nelson get over here, but he helped. Trump has done so many things for a lot of people that he don't get credit for. People don't want to look at his good deeds. They always want to look at what they say a mean tweet. Come on, people. We should not be a nation of scared computer warriors who get upset at somebody calling them a name. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. We were taught that as children. You can say what you want, just don't put your hands on me. See, the problem is they don't put their hands on Trump and some of his family. So he's got a mandate also to root out those people that do violence, those people that will put you in jail for trying to do the right thing. He's going to go after them people, and he should. They've been going after him for 8 years. The things that are going to come out over the next 2 to 4 years are going to be utterly amazing, jaw-dropping. It's going to be crazy. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to come out. A lot of things are going to happen that I'm looking forward to seeing. Go Trump and J.D. Vance. I mean, at first, I was questioning. At first, I didn't know what to expect. Because he used to be anti-Trump, and then now he's Trump's vice president. And I was like, I don't know about this guy. How does Trump trust somebody that used to talk bad about him? I don't understand that. But he does, and he did. And now that I've heard Vance talk, and I've watched him debate, I think he's pretty great. I think he's great at what he does. And when he says he's going to be there to do whatever Trump needs, I think he will. I don't think he's no Mike Pence. Mike Pence might as well be wearing a skirt, if you ask me. You can't stand up for the man that had so much faith in you, you ain't much of a man. They gave him a chance. They propped him up, and Mike Pence turned on Trump like a ravenous dog. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I've not had respect for him ever since he turned his back on Trump. If somebody has faith in you, somebody gives you a leg up, you stand up loyal and strong with them. You don't turn on them. At the very least, keep your mouth shut. You don't have to talk bad about them. You don't have to write books about them. You ain't much of a man if you do that. Men do the hard thing. And sometimes it's hard standing with somebody when things get tough. When people disagree, sometimes it's hard to stand. But you still stand just the same. If you can't do that, don't accept the position. Anyhow, it's going to be, I'm thinking by the end of March, things are going to turn around in just the freight market so much that we'll be cash flushed. There'll be people buying trucks and trailers, trying to get back in the industry. Truck prices are going to go up. Trailer prices are going to go up. It's going to make a huge difference. These people that have got these companies that lease on drivers, I think they're going to have a boom because the rates are going to go up, and automatically that's going to flush them with cash. And I'm excited for companies like Advanced Trucking and Like Trucking that they're going to see a big benefit out of this. Now, I wish my company was still alive, but hey, that's life. Things change. I'm not bitter. I do miss it. I do wish that it wouldn't happen. I'd be lying if I didn't. However, I have a lot less paperwork. I have a lot less headache. And with Advanced Trucking and their maintenance program that they have us on, it really takes a lot of stress off of you, because that's what really killed me at the end of my business. Yes, I was stressed out with the credit, but I could have postponed some payments and made it. I was stressed out with paperwork. I had a lot of that going on. And then there you have so much fraud in the freight market, people didn't want to do business with you, but I still got around that. What killed me was the price of repairs on my aging truck. I could not keep up because of the way the market went, fuel went. I was doing good. Like if I still had my trucking company right now with my one truck and without the debt, I would be making good money. I would. Because my truck was paid off. I just put the extra money I made and went into the bank, and when I needed it, do the repairs, I would have been all right. I could have made pretty good money right now in this market. But I didn't. And if you can make it doing this lease purchase gig, you can make it with your own authority in this market. The key is you got to keep those expenses as low as possible. Your truck payment, your insurance, and that's my insurance. The first few years I had my company, I had Hawaii at first. They wasn't too bad, but then I went to Progressive because I wanted to grow my fleet. That was an idiotic thing to do. I rushed into growing my fleet. If you get your own authority and you're running your own truck, get those paid off, build up a lump sum, $50,000, $80,000 before you put on that second truck. Take your time. Once you get that nest egg built up, buy your truck cash, buy your trailer cash. So you're going to put a driver in. Put that driver in there so you don't have those other expenses running by the mile. I made my best money with another truck when I ran my driver by the mile. So if you had your second truck paid off, the trailer paid off, your truck paid off, the trailer paid off, and all you had to really pay was that driver, as far as fixed expense, you know what I'm saying? You would come out really, really well. Like I was paying Curtis, I think 55 cents a mile. At that rate, I made decent money. And I ran him chasing miles because he got paid by the mile, so I needed that truck to make as many miles. I had run him where he could get, I think we was getting close to 3,000 miles a week. If he did what he was going to do on his side, we didn't have no breakdown, we could run a lot of miles and he could make a lot of money. on the market. But the market's got to be up. Like right now, the way it has been, it's hard to pay a driver 50 cents when you're only getting $1.50 a mile. You can't run that. You can't. That don't add up. Because then you got fuel, and you got your insurance, you got your plates, you got your ELD, you got so many other things that come out of that. And insurance, look, Progressive was hitting us hard. Just living, I had a Mississippi tax. I think it was $2,000 extra just because I lived in Mississippi because of the wind damages and stuff. Now, I didn't have no claims on my report. My report was clean, other than replacing a windshield when I was with Schneider. I wasn't making any claims on my insurance. So, and it was still outrageous. But I finally found a cheaper insurance. That was good. They treated me better than Progressive did. When I called in to get COIs and stuff, they did great. And that insurance company was great. West, with Joe Morton, they treated me good, and I really, really appreciated having that insurance. So it was cheaper than what I was paying when I started with OOIDA. And OOIDA is a great company to get started with because you can call them and ask them questions about permitting, insurances, and all that kind of thing. Anytime you call them and ask them questions, they got the what is it, the drug consortium? They got all that stuff with OOIDA. You can get employment packets, anything you need through OIDA. I got enough sped up. I'm going to get over behind him because I'm going to be stopping on my exit here in a little bit. Yeah, I figured that's about right. I finally found cheap enough insurance, and things turned around. I got everything so stressed out with debt, and then everything just it turns around. And it seems like it was overnight, but it was probably what, a year, 6 months at least, as things started turning around. And then when the fuel jumped up like that, man, it was just devastating. And it just changed the whole ball game. The last time the market took a dip, I was pulling local, calling Aaron's Furniture, and I was making money when everybody else wasn't because I had a local contract at a set rate. And I was lucky during that time, but I lost that haul. I was going to lose it anyway, but I lost it by my choice. But I was going to lose it anyway because a bigger company came in and took it over. And when you're a 1, 2, 3 truck operation, it just is what it is. You know, you have to deal with what you have to deal with. But I'm going to be at my exit here in just a minute. I was just going to try talking through a live and see how it worked, see if it was safe or something. Like I said, I have not looked at the camera. I have not looked at any messages. It's just like talking on the phone. So I really don't see where it would be unsafe. If y'all have any opinions about the safety of doing a live going down the road, I would love to hear it. But in debate, I would say it's safe. As long as you're not answering the comments, as long as you're not watching the camera. If anything, it makes you safer because you're afraid to make a mistake while being on video. Because it's live. Like if somebody was to cross that median right now and hit me, y'all would see it live. That's what I'm saying. It could be even safer doing a live while going down the road, as long as you're not looking at the phone, touching the phone, replying to comments. Because every one of us talks on their devices with a headpiece while going down the road. I have a little microphone that we bought. That's why I'm trying this out. But y'all go back and watch this and make sure how it sounds and everything. But I got a cool set of microphones. I'm fiddling with it right now. I'm hoping that the sound comes in pretty good. I'm hoping. My problem is a lot of the areas I run does not have good signal, and I don't know if my phone stays connected. And every time I've done them in the past, people come on and off, on and off, on and off. And that could be my phone issue. I probably need to upgrade my phone, but that's a money issue. So it might be March before we get phone upgrades, or we can do lives and stuff. But I've got to figure out something different to do with my YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel is being, I think, shadow blocked, because a lot of the times when I do stuff where I used to get a whole bunch of views, I don't get hardly any anymore. And I try to keep stuff up every week. That way, you know, we keep people interested and involved. But this is my exit. Exit 1, Osaka, Mississippi, right before the way station. And I'm going to stop right here at the edge of the rail, and we're going to turn this thing off. I appreciate y'all joining us and listening. Hopefully it turned out pretty good and it wasn't annoying.